What's on your workout playlist?
I will start by being honest and saying that I haven't been working out really. I've been home, I think, for 2 weeks now from touring, and I still feel like my body aches from touring, if that makes sense. There's so much going on stage, so much cardio that I always feel like I need to take a physical break as well as mental break after a tour. So I haven't been working out, but normally when I do and when I actually go to the gym, I like listening to bands like Die Art is Murder, Hacktivist, some Attila sometimes. So music that is quite faster. It motivates me in a way. Heavier, faster metal. I feel like it gives me that motivation to move and some sort of rhythm to my breathing.
What is your favorite exercise and why?
Actually, my favorite exercises are always connected to stretching. I don't know why I feel some sort of relief. I mean, I know why, of course. Physically, it has an explanation why, but nothing makes me as happy and nothing is as pleasant to me physically in terms of exercising, of course. For some reason, stretching my legs. I tend to have restless leg syndrome, bad circulation. Somehow, all women in my family suffer from that, to be honest. Those are my favorite.
Awesome. What is your least favorite exercise and why?
Unfortunately, I don't find any kind of pleasure or satisfaction in running. Unfortunately, I say because I know how beneficial it is for the body to go for a run. I can go for longest hikes and difficult hikes and climbs and walks and no problem. But actual running, I don't know, it takes a really heavy toll on my joints, bones. I don't know. It's since I was a child. It is probably connected with the fact that I was born with low blood pressure. So doing this kind of sprinting, running, it makes me super lightheaded too fast. And I much rather prefer doing long-term type of cardio, longer, but not in running mode. And it's really funny because singing and jumping on stage in the beginning of my career quite felt like running, but I trained it somehow. My body is trained to do that kind of effort work, but running, I could not train myself to be good at running. It's just my body fails on me. I love the sensations that when you push your boundaries, that those sensations in the body make you feel alive. They are really powerful, and we need to feel them from time to time because we fall asleep in this world, so we need those like shocks to our body sometimes. But yeah, I couldn't, so I don't, it's my least favorite.
There's such a thing called runner's high.
Yeah, I had a friend and he used to do marathons, and I even asked him about it. He did say that it's all about a lot of training, but it is possible that some bodies are physically not designed to run at all, or connected to maybe where you were born, what you have in your family genetically, stuff like that. So I don't know, maybe his theory was right.
Yeah, and it can be really
Mm,
hard on your joints, your shins as well. But there's lots of other activities you can enjoy.
of course, of
Okay,
course.
so what does your fitness routine look like off tour?
As I said, lately it looks like nothing. No fitness routine. I've been for a walk in the neighborhood because lately it's been very pleasant outside with my dog. I'm planning to go hiking again because, again, the weather is finally pleasant. But normally, my fitness routine is starting the morning with some yoga or stretching. Now, I never do a lot of sports. I did do a lot more when I was not going on tour during COVID times. I used to go to the gym almost every day, like 5 times a week. It just kept me busy. It gave me something to look forward every day. It was probably the only place that I would go besides some groceries. And yes, it sucked because we all had to wear masks and it wasn't very pleasant to breathe. But I used to go every day and at least 2 hours in the gym, just either by myself or, with some friends. Normally, that would be my routine. I would wake up in the morning, have a very, very small breakfast, and then, yeah, hit the gym and then run some errands. I do feel a very big difference in how my body feels in comparison with when I used to have it in my routine to go to the gym every day. I do see the difference now. However, I feel like the energy tank that we have as human beings, it just empties so much during the tour for me. And I feel like maybe it's an excuse and I just have to kick my own butt and go to the gym again. But lately, I'm not in the mood of working out around people, so I'm thinking about doing some more at home. There's so much you can do by yourself, just need discipline. And that is one characteristic that I did train in myself really well, especially during those times. That's not a problem. But as I said, I prefer more slow, mellow type of exercising, like yoga, stretching, sometimes even with certain weights. But I was never a fan of heavy lifting for myself. I've had some friends that were into that and they were actually doing that at the gym and still are. And for some bodies, it works perfect. For me, I just didn't like how it would work. So I wanted to build a stamina instead of building muscle. So I wanted my body to be healthy and strong, not just look different physically. I actually don't want my body to look different physically. Never did. Never. I never joined the gym because of that. I do understand that exercising trains your body and brain, and it's very important to do so.
So, do you do any kind of training then for tours? Like before you go on tour, do you train in a certain way differently from how you would normally?
Absolutely. I incorporate actually a 30 minutes type of stretching and training before every vocal warm up and every time I close myself into the vocal studio that I have here and I just go on with my rehearsals or recording or whatever it is that I'm in the process for. But before every tour, I do get ready. I rehearse by myself. We send each other the tracks and it's like way easier like that. Often we do meet up for rehearsals in Moldova all together, but sometimes it's not possible logistically. So I have to prepare my vocals and prepare my songs and prepare my body and my brain for a long tour. Every single tour is normally at least a month long so far, at least. So you have to be ready for that physically and mentally. So this is what I do. I have my own little room that I dedicated to work, to music, to recording, and I just stretch there, put a little bit of effort into certain exercises so I can open up my chest and strengthen my muscles everywhere in this area especially, and then I move on with my rehearsals. Now before every show on tour I also try my best to stretch because there can be sudden movements sometimes on stage and you don't want to wake up next day like all clenched up because you didn't stretch, you know?
So, I saw or read somewhere that you're very prone to injuries because you said you're a crazy performer, right? You're just jumping around on stage. What kind of injuries have you had?
It was probably exaggerated a little bit, like always, everything that is written exaggerated. But yes, it is true. I had two, I would call them minor accidents on stage. Actually, it was more than that, but like these are a little bit more serious. I've fallen on stage multiple times and I've had bruises all over my body and like I hurt my tailbone once. I even fainted in a very crowded venue with very poor AC. It was interesting, but I think the two that are like the most important that we can talk about was this tailbone injury I had when I fainted and like continued singing as soon as like I just lost it for a couple of seconds because I opened my eyes and I was in the drum, like next to the drums. I know it was just a couple of seconds because I skipped one word. So, and then I continued, but next day I had a gigantic bruise on one side of my butt cheek and my tailbone was so hurt. It was quite difficult to move the next day on the next show. And the second thing that happened was actually in 2019 because of some chaos on stage and not enough space on stage. Often it happens because it's many bands performing and many sets of drums on stage and different equipment that people cannot really have other places to put. Sometimes depends on venue capability, you know. And I don't know how I managed that, but after the show when I took my shoe off, two of my smallest toes were black. I broke two toes on stage. There's nothing you can do about it. I just put ice on it for a while. I was using some ointment with pain relief, but there's nothing else you can do when you break those little ones. I'm sure I'm not the only one. I've seen a lot of fall and like stars like Lady Gaga. It's quite normal when you move so much on stage.
Oh
We're human
yeah.
beings, we're not robots, and we don't have perfect balance, you know?
Yeah. I also read that in the past, when you started off the tour, you would struggle with your voice. After 2 or 3 shows, you would kind of lose your voice, and then there was blood. I don't know if this was exaggerated when you would strain your voice. So, and you've come a long way. You were training with Melissa Cross because
Yep.
now, even towards the end of your tours, your voice is still incredible. So, what do you do to protect your vocal health on tour?
Vocal health actually includes many things. It's not just one specific thing you have to focus on, unfortunately. And I say unfortunately because it is quite difficult. Often things are not in our control and they affect our voice. But if we could control or take care of the things that we are in control, that will help at least avoiding what you could have avoided. Basically, what I'm trying to say is our instrument is our body. Human body is alive. And the way I feel today is going to be way different than the way I feel tomorrow. And you know why? Because it is based on how long I slept, how well I slept, how well I ate, how healthy I ate. Did I move enough? Did I do enough exercises? Am I warm enough, or is it not too warm? So all these factors that can affect a human body, all of them can affect your voice. All of them. Why? Because, for example, if you eat something wrong or something too spicy or something a little bit different, but you travel the world, right? Every country is different. So I bet you're gonna eat different stuff every day. And I bet you sometimes you're gonna eat foods that you never even tried before. And even though I have a vegan diet, I still often feel like I don't eat as healthy as I could because there's just not an option sometimes, you know? So yeah, your body will feel different. And if your belly is off, trust me, you will not perform on your 100% if your belly is off. And if you have, let's say, fever because your body is fighting something, a cold, or again, indigestion, a fever can be from many things. Even if you're speaking normal and you can sing, your performance will be limited because you don't have energy. Now, of course, on top of that, if you learn to take care of your voice and if you learn to warm it up and prepare it before every single show, you could get away with certain things. Like, for example, I often went on stage with fever so high that I don't know how I even survived it. But I was able to perform because I know the places I have to go vocally in my songs because I train so much and I get ready so much for them and my voice is ready. Yes, maybe I will not jump around as much as when I'm super healthy and in the best mood, but I will still do my best in that moment. People understand that it's live show, it's live performance. If you want a perfect performance, then listen for your CD. But if you come to a show and either a string is breaking and the notes are not there because the guitar player is changing the guitar for because his string broke, or I don't know, a cable is not working properly, so we have to take a minute to change that cable or whatever, or the vocalist is not feeling good, or the vocalist is feeling amazing. This is the beauty of live shows. They are all gonna sound different based on how the musicians feel and how well the equipment works and how good the venue is. These three factors that are very important for a show to go well. The big part of the show going well, unfortunately, depends on how well the vocalist feels, because the vocalist is using his own body to perform, to speak in the microphone, and so on, right? So it is very important to disconnect from everything and find time to warm up and be ready. If you don't, then you give that extra reason for your vocals not to sound right, you know? And then you get frustrated on stage because you don't sound the way you want or the way you planned, and you push extra and you can control your emotions. And that's what leads to often either losing your voice or having extra raspiness. I'm still learning, I'm still making sometimes mistakes. I'm an emotional creature, so I feel like often I control it pretty well, but sometimes I get very tired of being strong. I'm very tired of just keeping it together. And when you are in that mood, which luckily happens rarely, but it still happens, and mentally you cannot control the emotion, then you will damage your voice. Risks are there often. It recently happened to me. I will be honest with you, I am not perfect, and I don't want anybody to think I am perfect. I want everybody to know that I'm a human being and I'm doing my best because I love this. I love singing so much and I will always do my best. But recently, in the beginning of this year, we performed on a cruise, and there were so many factors that were affecting our mood and our mental preparation and mental health during that festival that it was insanely hard to control my emotions on stage. Like, so many things were not working, and we were forced to perform at 4:30 a.m. and things were not working properly. People were tired that work there. Even the audience even was tired. 4:30 a.m., imagine. So after my equipment giving up on me a couple of times, for some reason, my equipment only, so I couldn't hear anything. I spent two entire songs singing like a person that is completely deaf. So I couldn't hear myself, but most importantly, I couldn't hear the instruments. I had no idea where I am in the song, even. And that was so frustrating for me because everything comes to my in ears. We don't have monitors on stage. I can barely hear something coming up from the PA, barely, and I can hear only very loud drums that are in my back. So based on those drums, I could guess where I am in the song and sing and hope that I am in my key and hope that I am in my part. Imagine the frustration, the mental frustration, and the physical exhaustion. The entire night I had a raspy voice and I felt like a beginner in this industry, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I felt like after 16 years, I couldn't control it and I almost lost my voice. That's how it worked. That's why it's very important to control the things at least that you can control, because I couldn't control was what was going on with my equipment. No one could. Everybody did their best. Every crew member from my band and the local crew member, they were trying to save the situation. Very glad that I had people that were trying, because maybe I wouldn't be able to sing the entire show. Who knows?
Wow.
Could have been worse.
Could have been
So
worse. You did well. You hung in there and you kept going.
I tried. People did not feel it. I mean, everybody's saying it was a great performance. I am very ashamed of that performance, if you ask me.
We are our own worst critic.
Well, we have to be, right?
Do you carry anything with you for your vocals? Like, I think I read somewhere that you have throat coatie and cough drops.
Cough drops are actually these like candies just to clear your throat. I like those because they help also with the AC in the buses. Like, it's easier to breathe because they have eucalyptus and menthol usually, and they are very pleasant. They have some certain herbs. I like them mostly for that. But the thing that I do carry with me, which is very important, is a nebulizer. Nebulizer, a portable small one for children, and nothing super big or fancy. I just put the liquids in there, and for 15 minutes, I make sure that I moisturize my breathing canals. I don't use it every day, but it helps to keep your vocal cords always with enough moisture and enough liquid, because sometimes we don't even drink enough water to keep hydrated. And I have a straw. It's actually a really cool device. Instead of a straw, I have this metal thing. It looks like a small straw with a ring. I can literally put it on my finger. It has certain holes on it, so I can make my breathing exercises a little bit more difficult by holding them. It serves as a straw, basically. So instead of having, plastic straws around me and pollute the planet, I chose that one. It serves as 3 different sizes of straw. Now, breathing exercises with straws are very old exercises. They are even suggested for teachers and anyone who speaks for a big audience, actors even. It really helps to position your vocal cords correctly and speak correctly. The way Melissa Cross teaches her vocal lessons is you speak as you sing and you sing as you speak. And I see the balance there as well, and it helps me a lot. That's pretty much it.
I think I saw a video of you with the straw, the metal straw. You have a really nice picture as well with that. Very cool.
Thank you.
Do you have any rules around drinking alcohol on tour?
Yes, I never drink alcohol before a show, not ever. I do like sometimes after a show a few sips, sometimes not even a shot, or a shot can be something stronger than wine. Like, normally I prefer either a cleaner liquor or a herbal liquor if we have any around. It's not a rule, but not drinking before the stage is a rule for me. Alcohol tends to dry the vocal cords and it relaxes your body, which could be a good thing, but could be also a bad thing. I prefer to be in full control of my body when I'm on stage. I never drink alcohol on stage either. I know some bands do. Kudos for them if that works for them. Who cares, you know? I am not a big drinker. I never drink to get drunk. I like to enjoy the taste here and there. I also tend to notice that, for example, if on a day off I have a glass of wine, I feel like wine really dehydrates people. I don't know, could be because of the other ingredients that are in wine that you don't find in stronger liquor. I have no idea. So wine for me is only when I'm home and I'm eating Italian now.
What is your favorite cheat meal or guilty pleasure?
I would say pizza. I really like pizza a lot. Obviously vegan.
And it's vegan, baby.
Because I've been eating a vegan for quite some time now. Everything else I eat, especially when I'm home, is homemade, home cooked, very clean, which I absolutely love. I enjoy fresh ingredients and I enjoy cooking very much. It's very therapeutic for me.
Have you tried drugs or smoking?
I tried smoking as a teenager, like everybody, I think. It never really made sense to me. I never liked the taste, the habit, anything about it, really. I tried 2 times as a teenager, like so super long ago. Like I tried like 2 puffs or whatever. I never smoked in my life. In fact, I never smoked cigarettes. I am a big supporter and lover of marijuana because I feel like weed saved my life many times. I am able to often not use painkillers, antidepressants, and all kind of strong drugs like that if I have a possibility to use weed instead. I live in a place where weed is not only legal but it's everywhere, so it is very easy for me when I'm home to use that instead of any kind of medication when it comes to specifically pain. Unfortunately, I was born with certain things, and like every human beings, I have my own pains, and I'm also a woman and I have my own pains, so I've stopped taking a lot of medication in comparison with some years ago, and it makes me very happy because we pollute our body with all these pills and toxins. Now when it comes to other drugs, I've never tried anything else in my entire life. I am, however, very curious to learn a little bit more about mushrooms and microdosing with mushrooms. I don't know much about it, so I like to study the matter before I try anything like that. But yeah, I haven't tried anything else, and I am actually not planning to, at least for now.
There's a lot of, especially Canadian artists I've interviewed who like weed.
Because it's a very clean type of, if you want to call it drug, call it drug. In my opinion, it's a plant, and the nature gave it to us. It's been from centuries before we were even a civilized community that tribes and people in tribes would use it for their own medical reasons, among with other roots and other plants that are probably illegal. I don't know, I didn't do my research, but there are other out there. I think it should be legal everywhere on the planet because unfortunately, you know, even my mom, my parents, it was very difficult for my mom to even try just CBD, to go through a very difficult time in her life after a very big car accident and go through so much pain. Instead, she wanted to go with what the doctors would say, with all those pills that will kill her pain. And finally, when she tried CBD, she cannot believe it. You know, my sisters, the same. Both my sisters, unfortunately, suffers from chronic pain, headaches, and a lot of unpleasant things that unfortunately are cursed to face every day. And CBD helps them because they live in Italy and CBD is legal, but weed is not there. So it's more difficult. Now, because I'm not a smoker, I do take my THC in tinctures, in oils, and that's even more amazing. Or you can have them in edibles and whatever. You don't have to be a smoker. And that part I really like. I do occasionally smoke weed because often the pain is excruciating and I need an immediate relief. But when I do, it's literally 2 puffs because I am such a bad smoker. I don't like smoking. I don't prefer it, just in case emergency that I have handy.
My partner and I actually saw a marijuana shop the other day and we went in all excited. Oh my God, there's weed here. And then the woman inside was like, it's medicinal. And then we just looked like idiots, you know. We came here for the high.
Yeah,
But
medicinal weed is more popular, of course. It is almost, I think it exists almost in every country right now. However, the possibility that the doctor will prescribe it to you, it's insanely, almost equals 0. It's very hard, no matter what. If you have very little to live and you go through some cancer pain, that they will prescribe it to you. But like that, no. Because they want you to buy their medication. They want you to be hooked on their painkillers. I had a surgery last year. It's a surgery that is considered for adults to be one of the most difficult rehabilitations. I removed my tonsils. I had to take care of it long ago. The doctors prescribed me opioids for pain. I didn't take it. I didn't. I was fine with just some THC. Opioids are so serious. I am not allowed to drive if I take opioids.
But you're right, that stuff just
Yeah,
gets you
that's my.
hooked on, yeah. The rock star lifestyle has always been associated with drugs and alcohol, right? And we've lost a lot of great musicians to that lifestyle. You being all healthy and into health and fitness, do you feel like you're an outcast, or you think that the industry is kind of shifting to become healthier?
Yeah. No. I'm not alone in this choice. I feel like so many bands out there are living a healthy lifestyle. There are bands that everybody in the band is straight age, or some members are straight age, so they don't even ever try anything like that. There are bands that are fully vegan, all of them, or just some members. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll, it was a slogan in the past. Things change, and probably in another 10 or 20 or even 30 years, it's going to be completely different than it is now. But I am noticing that more and more every year when we go to festivals, specifically where there are many, many bands of all types of nationalities, of all types of level, like smaller beginner bands or more medium bands, or like really big rock stars, really big bands. And we all have one place in common, which is the catering area, where we eat before we perform or after we perform, whoever decides how, whatever. That's normally area in the artist area at every festival. I'm noticing more and more healthy options, vegan options, fresh options in catering areas. So that means that there are many bands that request that, because there is always a small little list of things that you request that may or may not be there. Depends on many things, depends on the festival, depends on the band, depends on many things. But it makes me happy. Long ago when I became vegan, it was a little more difficult. And having a vegan option was literally having a salad that was just a few leaves. You know what I'm saying? Like just green leaves. That's it. Maybe there will be some fruit in the backstage. Right now, there are actual meals. There are actual big elaborated salads, and some festivals like have amazing chefs and they prepare super unique, exquisite dishes. What I'm trying to say is that it's not because of me. It's just the industry is shifting a little bit, because a lot of people in the metal industry are very aware of what's going on in the world, very aware of what's going on with our bodies. If we will continue poisoning our bodies with everything that is around, if we continue being omnivore, everybody makes their own choice. No judgment for anybody who does their own diet that is completely the opposite of mine. But this situation in the industry shifted.
Okay, last two questions. Is there anything you've always wanted to be great at, but you just can't seem to master? Like for me, it's handstands.
Oh, yeah, handstands can be fun. I was never able to do a split. Never. And I always came very close. Throughout my life as a child, I liked sports very much. I used to go to different classes for different things. And I always wanted to, and I could never pass that, like almost their limit. For sure. I think another one would be drawing. I'm always fascinated by people that can draw. Always, always, since I was a child. I am not like so bad at it, like I'm literally like a child, but close to that. So I could be good at painting if I have something to paint, because I'm very good at colors because of the job I had before becoming a musician. I used to be a hair and makeup artist, so colors were always my passion, and I love understanding them, mixing them, blending them. But actually drawing shapes and understanding shapes right, and understanding light right when you have to draw. Yeah. To be fully honest, I never gave it a proper try. I never did classes or never, but whenever I tried like by myself at home, it always looked ridiculous.
Yeah. I think I saw a video of Alice and Vidic drawing or painting.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah. They are both amazing at drawing. They do that freehand. Amazing.
Yeah. Last question. If there was one person you could train with, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Oh my God, I want to train with Arnold.
You know, I just did the interview with Alex Terrible, and he said the same thing. Literally, Arnold, like he's on my
Oh
list.
wow,
He's on my list
that's
as well. Oh
one.
my God.
Yeah, yeah, he's a legend. He is for sure. That would be amazing. He always would speak about how important it is to have a healthy lifestyle and clean lifestyle. And I don't know, I think he's vegetarian, just like no meat, I think, if I remember correctly. Yeah, there's an entire movie about it. You should check it out. It's really interesting.
What is it exactly that you want to see in the fridge? You just want to see the food, or do you want to bust me because I'm not 100% vegan?
He came a long way. He's very great. I would love to meet him at least in person once.
I'm here in Gold's Gym every morning. If you want to work out, come on down and we have a good time.
Awesome. All right. Thanks so much, Lena. Is there anything else you want to add or say?
No, thank you for having me. Remember that moving is life and life is moving. That could be associated with sports, or that could be associated with never being stagnant and always trying to move forward, 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 never backwards, always forward.
You're truly an inspiration. Keep inspiring us. And I hope to catch you live soon.
I hope so too. Thank you so much.